Hi, I'm Christy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here to chat about all of the new releases of the year so far and if I think you should read them or not. Let's get into it. Alright, so I have been wanting to do more kind of more casual chatty videos, so this is the case for this video. I'm going to chat about all the new releases like I mentioned. So I'm filming this video and it is towards the end of May of 2025, and so I'm talking about all the new releases up until now for 2025 that I have read and if I think you should pick them up or not. And it's going to be very simple. It's going to be a yes, a no, or a maybe, and I will give like a little bit of explanation of why a maybe for some of these, but yeah, it's going to be super fast, super quick. I will chat about them maybe or maybe not. We'll see. If you don't know, I love reading new releases and I love staying up on new releases. So I'm on a ton of different ARC teams. I get a ton of ARCs and I love being able to read books early for authors, for maybe early reviews for them, or also just for my own benefit. I feel like sometimes I just want to jump into a book that I know nothing about and have no like exterior kind of chatter in my mind about it from other people's reviews. And I just want to like experience it for myself for the first time and very early when other people haven't read it. And so I love doing that. So that is definitely like one of the reasons I love reading ARCs. Sometimes I just want to jump into a book and not know much about it at all. So I love reading ARCs, which somebody asked me recently what ARCs mean when I talk about those, ARCs and ALCs. So ARC is an advanced reader copy. So it means you're getting the book early from a publisher or from an author, usually like a couple weeks to maybe months out, where they want kind of those early reviews, early hype around a book for a new release. And then for ALC, when I talk about those are advanced listener copies. So those are audiobooks, basically audiobook ARCs. So you're getting early access to audiobooks that have not come out yet for a book or for a new release, or maybe a backlist book is getting an audiobook made, and so publishers or authors again will send you an audiobook early copy to listen to it and again get that feedback and review out for them to kind of like build the hype around it. So that is what I'm talking about when I talk about ARCs or ALCs. So anyways, like I mentioned, I love reading new releases. I think if you followed me for quite some time, you know that I like to stay up on new releases and read books by favorite authors and just all of those things. I just love it so much. And so new releases are always on my TBRs every month. And like at the end of the day, I'm a mood reader. So a TBR to me is kind of a list that I can go back on when I'm kind of struggling of what to pick up next. I know immediately, like I'll go off my list and be like, I'm feeling that book, or I'm feeling that mood, and then I'll pick from there. So that's kind of how a TBR works for me. So I kind of use it as like a checklist, but sometimes it's also just kind of recommendations to myself, I guess you could say, because sometimes it will be a couple months before I go back and then read a book that was maybe on my January new release list that I don't get to until like April, May. You know, it just depends on my mood and when I want to pick those books up. But I always have lists on my phone for reminders of books that come out per month and all of that. That's how I stay up on new releases. I have a list all the way into 2026 right now, and it's broken up by each month. And anytime I see a new release or a book that I want to read or check out on Instagram or social media or Goodreads, I will go to my list and go down to the month and put it in there so I don't forget. And that's how I do it. I love lists, so I'm always doing that on my phone and have a ton of lists all the time. And that's how I keep up with new releases, which somebody had asked me recently as well. How do I keep up with new releases? That is how I follow a ton of these authors on Instagram, social media. And so from there, they'll usually talk about books of when they're coming out. Sometimes authors will, at the end of like a current book, they'll maybe say the new release for the next book in the series at the end of that. So I will write that down. Also on Goodreads, you can kind of check it out that way. And then like other friends will sometimes share new releases that I didn't even know were coming out or were a thing. Sometimes authors just drop them. So kind of like a bunch of different ways of new releases being on my radar all the time. So to do this video, I don't even know the actual amount of new releases that I have read for the year, which you will know by clicking on this video. Editing me at the end of this will know how many I have read for the year that were new releases. Also editing Christy will put it here so we know the number as well. I won't know the number till the end, but you'll know the number because I have edited it in so you can see it. But anyways, I am just going to go through, I use like trackers for the month that you've probably seen me share on Instagram. And so these are templates that I post on Instagram and I'll share it in my stories. And then on my Instagram, if you follow me as well, on here, like my little highlights, I have like my 2025 reads. I think I have a 2024 one, 2023, 2022, 2021. So I started doing those monthly tracker readers back in 2021. And that's just something, like I said, I'm a person who loves lists and loves organization. So I keep up with that and love it for myself to look back and see the books that I loved. So anyways, and then it makes it easy for doing videos like this because I can just go down my list and see the new releases that I have read for the month. So we're going to keep this pretty casual. I'm just going to go through this list like I mentioned, tell you yes, no, or maybe if you want more of the books, because I'm not going to really review them here. I might talk about them a little bit, but if you want my full thoughts or a review on any of the books, I always review every book that I read, and my Goodreads is always linked below in the description of the video. So if you want to go check those out, I will also link all the books that I talk about with the author in the title. So if you miss any and want to go grab one, they're going to be linked below for you as well. So this is for 2025 new releases as well. So let's see. So first one is First Time Caller by B.K. Borson, and I said I wasn't going to talk too much about the books, but I will give you like the basic tropes. This one is so good. He is a radio show host. It's Sleepless in Seattle inspired. She is a single mom and she's a car mechanic, and her daughter calls in to the radio show and asks for a date for her mom. The hero is the host of that show, and they decide to kind of help her out, find her a date, but of course he falls for her. So good, loved it so much. My first 5-star read of the year, so definitely a yes for me. Next, Steal My Heart by Laura Pavlov. This is the first book in her Rosewood River series. This one is a yes from me. I do like it. Not like a favorite, but it is a good small town romance. Then we have A Fight by Sloane St. James. So this was part of a trilogy that 3 different authors wrote a book in it, and they were all kind of centered around these Wildfire firefighters at the beginning of the year. And so it's the Sky Ridge Hotshot series. I have a whole series review on my channel as well. I'll link it below for you. So the first one I would say a maybe, honestly, like very much maybe. Then let's see, the second book is Protect. This is by Paisley Hope. This one's a yes for me. This is my favorite in the series. The rest I feel like you could skip. This one is a single mom heroine, and it is a second chance, and the hero is also her brother's best friend, and her brother has passed away, and so the hero is a firefighter. Her brother was as well, and they have shared connection from their past as well when they were teens, so you get to see that. Now the heroine's back in her town. She is a divorced single mom to her daughter, and the hero is obsessed and wants to make her his, and it goes from there, and I love this one. Let's see. Then there's Honor by Danielle Baker. This is the third in the Sky Ridge Hotshot series. This one's a no. Did not like this one. It's very cringy. Let's see. Then we have The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This is a maybe. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like my favorite thing ever. And this one I feel like is very polarizing. This is basically, actually it is, a Wuthering Heights retelling, but make it contemporary and have to do with figure skating. So it very much has that like very drama kind of angsty vibes. We're getting a lot of different people's opinions, like a TV show about them, and maybe like news reporters kind of like intermixed in the story, telling the story of this couple throughout the years. Their very tumultuous relationship. It's not a romance, it's more women's fiction. There is like a love story in it, but take that for what you will. It's not a romance to me. Then there is Stolen Chances by Cleo Evans. This is book 2 in her Citrus Cove series. This one is a no from me. Sadly, I didn't love this one. Like, I have enjoyed the rest of the series. This one was just like okay for me, so maybe, I guess, but honestly probably a no. This one I was really excited for because it is an MMF romance and a single mom heroine, and it just didn't work for me. I felt like the relationship between all the characters was just way too easy, and like everything was easy. Everybody was fine with them being together. There was no like external angst to their relationship. There was no angst amongst them, and I just wanted like more. I don't want like an easy peasy, everybody's happy and in love type of relationship like I do, but I also kind of want to see them fight for one another, if that makes sense, or maybe I don't know, like I just needed more from this one. So the next one is Phantom by H.D. Carlton. This would be a no from me. This is the author who writes Haunting Adeline, and this kind of exists in that same world, but it's in the past. So it's kind of like more historical romance set in the 40s. And basically in Haunting Adeline, if you've read that, then you know that the heroine of there, she gets this like journal diary from her grandmother, I want to say. And this is basically that grandmother's story. And I didn't like it. It was just very mid for me and kind of boring. Needed more, so it's a no from me, but it is available on KU with the read and listen, so if you're really desperate to read it, I guess check it out. Then we have The Moon Is Tides by Gianna Darling. So this is a maybe because for me it didn't work, but I know tons of people who love this book, and so I feel like if you are that type of reader, then you'll love it. So that's why it's a maybe, because it just wasn't for me. But basically in here, it is a MMF situation, or basically that's where it's going to be leading to. This is the start of a trilogy, I want to say, so it leaves on a cliffhanger, and this is not like the finished story of the couple at all, or the throuple, I guess. But basically in here, there is a married couple, and they're kind of in Hollywood and famous, and the younger hero comes into the relationship. He's the driver for them, and they pull him into their relationship, and they both have connection with him as well as with each other. It's very like messy, angsty kind of drama, and it was okay. So maybe, because it didn't work for me, but I know people who love it, and like I love other Gianna books more, so I don't know, it was a maybe for me. Then we have A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke by Adriana Herrera. This is an absolute yes for me. This is a historical romance. It's the third book in her Las Leonas series. I love this one to pieces. This is like late 1880s in Paris, and the heroine in here is a doctor, and so the hero is a Black Duke, and they both are kind of like struggling and fighting with things of the time, and so it kind of goes from there, and he's very much obsessed with her and wants to caretake and take care of her. And it's so good. I love it. So swoony. Then we have Come Back by Rebecca Jinchak. This one was an absolute yes from me. This is the third book in her Holland Brothers series. This is a sports romance. The hero is a football player. He also is deaf, so he uses ASL, and he has hearing aids, and the heroine is a dancer. She's also opening a dance studio, and she is his best friend's sister, who's come into her brother's life kind of later in life because of reasons that you see play out in the series. And so the hero's a little wary about her being in his best friend's life. And at first he's wary, then they all become roommates, and it goes from there. And it's so good. The caretaking between all of them is amazing. Then there is You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman. This is a no from me. I didn't like this one. Here it's basically kind of around, I want to say the heroine's writing stories or poetry, maybe something like that. She's in like a writing class, and she thinks that the hero hates her because in their high school writing class, he like critiqued her work, even though that was the point of the class. So now she's very much like, I don't want to hear people's critiques, even though she's in these like critical writing classes. I don't know. It didn't work for me on any level. Then Unloved by Peyton Corinne is an absolute yes for me. This is my favorite book of the year. Loved it so much. This is I always like hesitate saying it's a sports romance, but it is, but it's honestly so much more than that. Basically, this is a college romance. Again, I hesitate saying that because it's so much more. But in here, the characters are in college. He is on the hockey team, and the hero, his grades are struggling. So he has dyslexia, dyscalculia, ADHD, and he needs to get his grades up. So he ends up getting placed with a tutor who is the heroine, and it goes from there. And they're very much two broken characters who have felt, as the title suggests, unloved in life, and they just feel like they're not worthy. And they have always just kind of given up on who they are to fit into somebody else's life, to like please other people. So very much people pleasers and kind of things like that in their life. And there's a lot of things I could relate to in this book, and I just loved it so much. So emotional, and the mental health rep, Peyton Corinne honestly writes those so well. Love this one so much. Favorite of the year, absolute yes. A Rebel Without Claws by Juliet Cross. This is a maybe from me. It was more of a no from me. This is like a spin-off, start of a new series, where if you've read her Stay a Spell series, which is kind of like a contemporary witchy light paranormally romance set in New Orleans of witchy sisters, this is a spin-off. So now their children are getting books. I love the Stay a Spell series. This book did not work for me. I felt like it was way too easy, very insta-lovey, and I just didn't like the characters at all. So maybe, but honestly a no. Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. This is a no for me personally. But I just feel like the author has stopped working for me. So her last 4 releases now, I want to say, haven't worked for me, and I need to just stop because I did like some of her books in the past. I don't anymore. That's fine. So she's just not for me, but I know people who love her books. Devotion by Claire Kent, absolute yes for me. I love this one so much. This is the first book in a new series from her, a dystopian age gap, kind of like transactional relationship. I feel like if you've read her Kindled series, which is a post-apocalyptic series, really important to read that one first, honestly, before jumping into the series. But I love it. So good. I love her books so much. Then we have The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. This was the 3rd book, I think, in her Green Sisters series. I really enjoyed this one. The hero is an R&B singer, and the heroine is actually like an executive for like a beauty kind of company business. So she wants the hero to be like an influencer for the company, and they're around one another, and they kind of met at a wedding or something before in the past too. He's very smitten, and I just really like this one. She's a single mom as well, and it goes from there. Then we have On Love Rose Lane by Samantha Young. I love this one. It's the start of her new On Dublin Street series, I want to say, which is a spin-off from the Return to Dublin Street, or whatever the name of that series was. I always forget it. Anyways, massively popular indie romance trilogy years and years ago, like the 2010s kind of time frame. And so this is 2nd gen with children from that series, and it is so good. I love this one. And here the hero is a popular footballer, and him and the heroine have a past, and you see everything involved there. And I loved it. The anxiety, mental health rep was so good. I love these characters so much. Really connected with the story and with the characters. So yeah, this was a yes for me. Then we have The Apple Tree by Julie Ann. This is the 2nd book in her Sunday series, or Sunday Morning series. I loved Sunday Morning, the first one. The 2nd one was just okay for me, so maybe, but probably a no from me. I liked the first one so much more. This series takes place in the 80s, which I feel like is a fun setup, and here the sisters are all daughters of a preacher in a small town, and it's their romances, and I think they're all kind of forbidden-esque. And so in here, this one's age gap, and the heroine is just super smitten with their new neighbor, who's a single dad, and he is a new high school teacher slash football coach for the town, and she has just graduated high school, so she's still 18. It's the summer before she decides what she wants to do with life, and she's absolutely obsessed with him, and it goes from there. And it was just kind of like uncomfy, cringy to me, so no from me. But I loved the first book. Then we have Whirlwind by Kayla Gross. So this author works for me, and so it was a yes from me. I really enjoyed this one. It was like Twisters, basically like tornado storm chasers, but steamy and with a romance and emotional elements. This author always writes plus size characters, and she always has really good like emotional elements to the spice, which I like and appreciate. So it was fun for what it was, and it was a fun time. It was basically like the movie Twister, but spicy. So that's that one. My Inconvenient Duke by Loretta Chase. This is a no from me. This is a historical romance. I feel like this author just doesn't work for me very well. Like Lord Scoundrels, love it. It's one of my all-time favorites. This book just was not it, and and it just felt so weird in the series. So no from me. Cover stunning though. Then we have Shattered Innocence by Sarah Kate. I love this one. So this is a novella and it is an FFM, I believe. Yes, I think so. So this one's an auction setting. It's also a Cinderella retelling. So in here, the two heroines are stepsisters and they have a thing together, and then they want to get away from the evil stepmom slash one of their actual moms. So the stepmom ends up putting up the main character, who's kind of like the Cinderella character, like her night with her up for auction. I think you can figure out what I'm saying there. And the hero ends up bidding and winning. So the other heroine has had a past with him, and so he's there to kind of help them out, but then he falls for both of them instead. And it goes from there. It was a super fun time, a novella, FFM, so spicy and steamy, but the emotional elements were great too. I had fun with it. My Darling Mayhem by Ashley Munoz. This is the start of a new series, but it does connect to two of her series. So to the Rakeforge series from the author, as well as to her Stone Riders series. And so it does play into both of those series. So I think you'd have more of appreciation if you've read both of those. I really enjoyed it. It's a single mom heroine, and the hero is also becoming a guardian to his younger brother, and they're next door neighbors, and they both are coming from pasts where he's an MC president and she has connections to some maybe dangerous people in her past. And so they're both trying to get a new start and get away from those kind of like dangerous affiliations and just start fresh and have a safe environment for his younger brother and for her son. And so they're next door neighbors, and they're very pulled to one another, as well as she tries to keep her distance because she's like, wait, you're an MC president? That's what I'm trying to stay away from. Goes from there. It's so good though. Honestly, I loved it. Then we have Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is the final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I love this one. It's my favorite in the series, actually. So much fun in here. This whole series is kind of like these darker romances, but kind of more like dark, witty humor. And so in here, basically, the whole series is following these brothers. And so the hero of this, his brothers are the other heroes of the books. And so in here, there's always like an element of serial killers, murderers, things like that. And so in here, the heroine is the one who is a serial killer, and she takes out bad dudes for reasons that you see happen. And she also works at the circus. And so she ends up getting injured at the beginning of the story, and he is a doctor in the town that she's basically kind of like left in, where the circus is like, hey, we're leaving, but you need to recoup and get better. Stay with this guy. He's the doctor in town. And so it kind of goes from there. And it's just so like, they're so obsessed with each other. And I had fun with this one. I really loved it. So that's a yes from me. Then we have Never Been Worse by Morgan Elizabeth. This one was maybe as well. It's like fun, rock star. I feel like this author just always has very easy breezy books. I haven't loved any of her books though as much as I loved 'Tis the Season for Revenge, which I read years ago from her. So all the rest are fine. So they're all like maybes from me. Basically in here, there is like some pining from the hero for the heroine, where he's in a band and she is, I think this is the one where she bids on winning some time with the hero because her ex-boyfriend, who she found out was cheating on her, is obsessed with the hero and his band. And so she's like, I'm going to win the bid and spend time with his favorite person, his favorite band. And then she finds out that that hero, because they have like, I think a friend group in common, he has been into her for a while, and so it goes from there. So kind of like a easy kind of relationship setup. Then we have Secrets of Mine by Alexis Grace. This is the second book of the Of Mine series, which is a Why Choose series with romantic suspense, because in here they are FBI profilers and they're chasing down an FBI killer who is actually the heroine's father. So it's her relationship with all the heroes who are FBI investigators, detectives, profilers like her. And the first book I had so much fun with. The second book was not it for me, so not my cup of tea, so it's going to be a no from me. Then we have The Devil's Charm by Megan Frampton. This is a new historical romance, first in a new series from her. This one, the hero and the heroine, like the hero's more of a playboy about town. The heroine is kind of a bit of a wallflower, and they're from kind of like rival families, and they have to like work together for some reason. I honestly don't remember too much about this one, but I feel like that a lot with this author's books. So they're always like fun for while I'm reading them, but at the end of the day, it's like a maybe because I don't remember them, honestly. So it was fine. Then we have Empire of Temptation by Mila Finelli. So this is a mafia romance, and this one is different than this author's other mafia romances because this is small town meets mafia. So basically in here, the hero is in like, I want to say like upstate New York or something, and he's hiding out and he keeps his identity a secret. And the heroine works at like a diner or a restaurant in the town, and basically he wants to come and help her, and he's super into her right from the start, and it goes from there. So it's a small town setting with mafia elements. So it reads a little differently than her other books that are set in Italy, but it has ties to them at the same time. So this one was fine. It was pretty good. So I would say yes if you're in the mood for like a mafia romance. Then we have My Silver Lining by Laura Pavlov. This is book 2 in her Rosewood River series. This one's a yes from me. So the first one was like a maybe yes. This one's a absolute yes. This is my favorite in the series so far. I had so much fun with this one. Fairy Dreams by Natasha Madison. I love this one. This whole series is very emotional, angsty, where basically a bunch of friends in high school friend group, they got into a tragic car accident. Some of the the people died, and a lot of people have a lot of feelings about that still, and it's years later, but there's a lot of like blame and hurt and kind of that placed on each other, and some people have lost some of the people they were with during that situation. And it goes from there, and this one I remember loving. It's where the heroine has to come back to the small town, and her mother's sick, and so she comes back to take care of her mother's bakery, and then the hero is in town as well, and he's a single dad now. And it goes from there, and I think this one's second chance as well, where they were like the couple who was actually together when that accident happened, and that kind of tore them apart from all that trauma and tragedy, and it is just so angsty, that level of like always meant to be together. That one's definitely that. So I love the series. I've read a lot of this author's series, but this is my favorite from her. Very like angsty emotional. Then we have If You Give a CEO a Chance by Anne Einerson. This is a yes from me. I really enjoy this author's books. If you like kind of more easy cutesy ones, her books are always that, but there is spice as well. So in here, the hero is a CEO. He's a billionaire, and so he was a former hockey player as well, and the heroine is his private live-in chef. And so it goes from there, and these two, this is I think the last book in the series, and they have had like this whole pull towards one another throughout the series, and so getting to their book because it's a second chance as well, and I really enjoyed it. It was so good. Love the forced proximity and like the whole live-in chef situation. So fun. Then we have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is a yes from me. This is a marriage in crisis, marriage in trouble between high school sweethearts who are married and decide to go on a wilderness retreat to see if the feels are still there, and it goes from there, and I love it. Beautiful Exile by Catherine Cowles. This is book 4 in her Sparrow Falls series, a small town romantic suspense. The heroine is an artist who is kind of hiding out or has been on the run her whole life, sort of, and the hero is a billionaire. He's her brother's best friend. He owns the hockey team in town, and he is smitten with her from the start and wants to take care of her. So good. Small town romantic suspense. Absolute yes. And then Firebird by Juliet Cross. Absolutely a no from me. I read an early copy of this one, and I remember being so appalled, not into it. It was not described very well at all beforehand, and so I did not like it. Basically, it's ancient Rome, but with like fantastical elements, but it has a master-slave situation romance dynamic, and I was not here for it. Didn't love it. I think this is the only book I've given 1 star to this whole year. Did not love it, so I don't recommend this one. Then we have Mountain Boss by S.J. Tilley. This one is a maybe from me, because I feel like her books don't work for everybody. They're very like steamy, but they just like lean into the tropes, and they're honestly just a fun time. So it's a maybe. I enjoyed it, but I feel like some people, that's not their vibe, and that's fine. But in here, the heroine is coming to get this new job as like a mechanic or something like that at this kind of resort retreat, kind of camp place, I guess, in the mountains. And so she shows up there, and the hero is like, who are you? Like, I'm expecting whatever her name is. And then she's like, yeah, that's me. And he thought she was actually a guy from her name. And so he's like, absolutely not. You can't work here. Like, I want you. All the guys are going to want you. You need to get out of here. And so she's like, absolutely not. I am staying here, and I'm working here because I'm qualified. And it goes from there. So she thinks he hates her at first because of course he doesn't tell her why she can't work there. He's just like, you're a girl. Why are you here? And in his head though, he's like, oh my God, I'm so into her. I can't like have her around me. And so it goes from there. And it's just like honestly a super fun time and very steamy, very fun. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bass Stone is going to be a maybe. I love this author's books. Her newer books she's been doing aren't really my absolute favorites of hers though. And so this one's a maybe because it definitely leans more on women's fiction. So if that's your vibe, maybe check it out, but it's not one of my favorites from her. So it's just a maybe. Basically in here, she starts becoming a kind of companion, chaperone, nanny to a young girl and her single mom. And so the hero is the uncle of the girl she's looking after, and he's kind of new in their life and trying to form a bond or a connection with his niece and with his sister. And so you kind of see the hero trying to hang out with the heroine and his niece that she is like the nanny for. And so it kind of goes from there where they kind of trauma bond, I guess you could say. Like they both have had grief in their life. He's like, I can connect and help you. And so it kind of goes from there. It was okay. Then we have While the Duke Was Sleeping by Samara Parrish. This is a historical romance, and this is a closed door romance. So if you want closed door historical romances, that's what this author writes. This one probably be a no for me. This is basically While You Were Sleeping, but in a historical romance. So if you want the same kind of vibes, the same character names, like very much the same thing in this, that's what it is. It's just I needed more. Like I want my inspired stuff to have a little bit more to them instead of just like an actual reimagining. So I don't know, this author's just probably not for me. In Good Company by Kat Singleton. I love this one. This is a new start to a new series from her. This is a yes from me. Billionaire hero. He is also the heroine's ex's brother, and she's a private chef. And so she works at the country club that he's a member of and gonna spend the summer at. So he finds out that she's looking for like kind of a private chef situation for the summer. And he's like, you're gonna be working for me. And it goes from there. A very easy breezy summertime billionaire. He's obsessed with her and has the money to spoil her. So much fun. Really loved it. Hidden Roots by Cleo Evans. This one one I loved. It's the third book in the Citrus Cove series, and this one was so good. Book 1 and book 3 are my favorites in the series, so this is a yes from me. Romantic suspense element. This one's a fake relationship as well, which is so good. Everybody thinks they hate one another, but he has been pining for her from day one, and it goes from there, and it's so much fun. I loved it. Wave Song by M. Ham. This is a yes for me. This is a novella, and it is a kind of like merman, merpeople with humans. Basically in this world, humans have had to, something happen on Earth. Nobody can live up there anymore, so humans built these under the sea kind of cities that are kind of like in these domes under the water. Loved it. It gave me like all of my Atlantis vibes. I really enjoyed this as a novella, and it connects to the author's, I think, Deep Waters series, I want to say. I really enjoyed it. So good. Then there is The Strike Zone by Lulu Moore. This is a baseball romance. This one's a maybe from me. I feel like The Third Baseman was the first book in the series that I loved, and all the rest have been fine. I think this is book 4. So they're fine if you want like a very quick, easy peasy like sports baseball romance. This is that series. The Nannys Off Limits by QB Tyler. This is a yes for me. I loved it so much. He is a single dad to 3 kids, and his ex-wife recently passed away, who was the mother of his children, and so even though they weren't together, he's affected by that and going through things, and the heroine is his new nanny, and there's an age gap, and it's so good. I love this one. This is one of QB Tyler's that mixes like emotional with steamy times, and I really enjoyed it. It's now my second favorite book from QB, so yeah, that's a yes from me. Then we have Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rosh. So this one's gonna be a no from me. I really loved The Nightmare Before Christmas from this author. This is the second book in the series, and it was just fine. It's basically like Red, White, and Royal Blue meets The Nightmare Before Christmas, where it's like a contemporary setting, but in this world, all of the holidays and seasons are like courts. And so, and here, one of the heroes is like the Prince of a Christmas Court. The other one's the Prince of St. Patrick's Day. So there's kind of like these political things to it, but like with holidays involved. This one didn't work for me, but I loved the first book in the series, and they're both MM. Then we have Sin With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This one's a no from me. This series, I think this is the last book in the series, possibly. I feel like the first book and maybe the third book or something were like my favorites. Everything else after that were just like okay. Then we have Wicked Love by Willow Astor. This one's a maybe from me. This one didn't really work for me. This is another like single dad contemporary romance series. And they're supposed to be sports romance, but I feel like this author, I've read quite a few of her books that are sports related, and they don't really lean into the sports aspect at all. Like that's just their career, but you don't really see it ever, which for my sports romances, I want to see it. And he's a single dad in here, and I just needed a little bit more with this one. I loved the first book in the series, and all the rest have just been okay. So it's like a maybe. Then we have Just Our Luck by Denise Williams. This one's like a maybe, but possibly a no from me. I don't know, I needed more. It's like a fake dating setup. She wins a lottery ticket. Her and the hero had like a one-night stand. She left the lottery ticket at his place, and he decides to give it back to her. And so she decides to help him out, help out his family's donut business by getting them like some press and publicity with her like winning ticket situation. And it goes from there. Like it was just okay. Then The Duke and Lady Scandal by Christy Carlisle. This is a new historical romance. I think it's the start of a new series. This one maybe, but more like a no for me. It didn't really work for me. It was my first read from this author, so I definitely want to check out more. And this one was fine. Then we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. So this book and the next book, I feel like are such polarizing books. So this book is a no from me. This is my least favorite of Abby Jimenez books. But the second book is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I read them back to back, and Great Big Beautiful Life I actually enjoyed more. So that one's a yes for me. And Say You'll Remember Me is a no. And I feel like people have differing thoughts on these books, and I feel like you're usually the opposite. So if you love one, you're going to not like the other. And so that is the case for me for this one. I liked the Emily Henry more. I have read both of these authors, like contemporary romances, all of them, and those are my thoughts on them. So they definitely are more women's fiction with romances in them, but I feel like to me, the romance or the couple in Great Big Beautiful Life I enjoyed more than the couple of Say You'll Remember Me. So that's that. Then we have My Dark Fairy Tale by Jenna Darling. This one's a yes for me. This is a new mafia romance, and it is a duet from her. So it's the first book in a new duet that the second book's coming out in October, and this I really enjoyed. Basically, the heroine is young. I think she either is about to go to college, or she's in college, or just finished college. Somewhere around there. She decides to go to Italy for the summer and to get away because her family is Italian, but they never talk about it and are always like, don't go there. So she's like, well, now I want to go there. So she goes there and runs into the hero, and he is in the mafia, and it goes from there. And so he keeps his identity a secret from her for a bit, very much like billionaire vibes. He spoils her. It's just like a fun summer in Italy. So I enjoyed it. So it's a yes. Then we have The Love Assimulation by Etta Easton. This one's a no or maybe from me, I guess. Like, it was fine. So basically in here, she is an assistant principal at an elementary school, and he is a science teacher, and they have to go to this Mars simulation, which was like the funnest part of the book. And he's been pining for her forever. It was only her POV for the book, which I feel like didn't work for me. And then, yeah, it's like this competition where they want to win the Mars simulation to win money for the school. And he is also the son of the principal of the school, who hates the heroine, who is the assistant principal. Goes from there. I needed more, so it was a maybe. Lady Night by Amelie Howard is a YA historical romance. This one's a maybe. I love the first book so much more, which is Queen Bee. So this one was just okay, so a maybe. Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley. This one is a no from me. I have enjoyed, I think, books 1 and 3 in the series more. And this one and book 2 are just like, they didn't work for me, so a no. Crescent Kingdom by Tessa Hale. This is a yes for me. I loved it so much. This is a Why Choose Paranormal Wolf Shifters first in a new series. It's going to be a trilogy. They all leave off on cliffhangers, and I loved it so much. So good. Sawyer by Jessica Peterson. This one I really enjoyed. This is a yes. This is the 3rd book in her Lucky River Ranch series. Book 1 and book 3 are my favorites, and so this one was honestly just so good and so fun. If you want like a cowboy western romance, that's what this series is. Then we have the Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore. This one is a maybe yes from me. Like, I enjoy the series overall. They're very like cozy small town kind of setting and very like tropey, if that makes sense, like kind of the characters and the very much like small town setting, and everybody's in everybody's business, everybody's like cutesy and does all these cute things. Very much like Gilmore Girl vibes, but following like the small town kind of different businesses and stuff. And so in here, the hero is a famous like chef. He's in Paris and he gets a call one day that he has a child and he didn't even know that this child existed. And so he comes to the small town where she's living at and he runs into the heroine who ends up becoming the nanny for his child, and it goes from there. And so it's very much kind of like opposites attract and single dad nanny romance, small town. I like the series overall. This one just wasn't a favorite in the series for me. Then we have Change of Pace by Kayla Gross. This one I really liked as well. So this is a yes. And like I said earlier, this author's books just work for me. So she always has a plus size rep. The heroine in here has like a heart condition. And so you see that in the book as well, which I think the author said his own voices for her. And then the hero and her end up going on a road trip together. And it goes from there, kind of like a bucket list, summer bucket list situation. I liked it. Stolen Dreams by Natasha Madison. This is a yes for me. Like I said earlier, I love this whole series, which is more angsty emotional. And here there's content warning, so just know that before going in for things from the heroine's past. And basically she goes to this equine ranch to heal and recover, and the hero works there. And he ends up finding out he has a child he never knew about. And so he ends up bringing his daughter there, and the heroine and his daughter actually really connect. And so he is around her more because of that, and has always like fought his feelings because of the heroine's past and didn't want to like get involved with her because of things she was going through and wanted her to heal. And so it is their romance, and she has wanted him since day one. And so it goes from there. Wildside by Elsie Silver. That one is a yes for me as well. Second favorite in the series for me. I enjoyed it. He is a professional wrestler. It's a marriage of convenience, and she and him, I think they're trying to raise her nephew together, where she wants custody of her nephew, but he was left the guardianship of her nephew, and he was like her sister's landlord before her sister passed away. So some content warning in here, and then they want to raise her nephew together, and so it becomes a marriage of convenience for them to do that. And it goes from there, and I really liked it because I loved how the heroine was super into his pro wrestling status once she finds that out, and it's just so much fun how she leans into it with him. So good. We have The Prodigal Son by Sarah Kate. This is a yes from me. I enjoyed this one. It's an MM romance. Hurt Comfort in here, it's forbidden because one of the heroes is a preacher, the other one is a famous like country singer, I want to say. And it goes from there. Really enjoy the whole series, the Good Brothers series. I think this is the last one. I enjoyed it. King of Envy by Anna Huang. This one's a maybe for me personally, but I know people again who love it, so I would still recommend it even though it didn't work for me as much. I just really love other books in the series more, so it was okay for me. I wasn't as obsessed, sadly, that other people were. Maybe I need to give it another try because it just didn't work for me the first time I read it. So it was fine. It just wasn't a favorite. But that's basically a billionaire series, and that's book 5 in the series. So that's that. Then we have Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. This is the 3rd book in her Skyland series. I think the last book. I really enjoyed this one. This is a yes from me. I will say this whole series kind of after book 1, book 2 and 3 really lean more into women's fiction with a contemporary romance running through it. This heroine has been built up because, like I said, the heroines are all friends. They're in the same friend group. And this heroine, she is a businesswoman and the hero is a billionaire, kind of philanthropist who wants to invest money into her businesses as well as invest time with her. He's really into her. And so it kind of goes from there, and she is childless by choice, and I really liked that, and it goes from there. I enjoyed this one. Kennedy Ryan is an author that I will just always recommend. I love her books so much. Next is Dream On, Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake. This one I liked, but it'd probably be like a maybe if I was overall looking at all of this author's books. This is a sapphic romance, contemporary romance, and in here it is one of the heroines is an actress, and she's in the small town to do a role. The other heroine lives in the small town, and she works at a kind of diner, and the two heroines actually shared a kiss in the past when they were teenagers, I want to say, and the one who works at the diner remembers it, and the other heroine, who's the actress, doesn't seem to remember at first. So there's a little bit of angst in the beginning. So the beginning I was really loving, and then it just goes from there, and it's very like very steamy. I do remember that some of these scenes were super steamy in this one. I liked it. It's just not like an all-time favorite from this author for me, but so I'd recommend it, like a maybe. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This one would be a maybe, not my favorite in the series, but it's the last book in her Rebel Blue Ranch series, which is like a kind of like Western cowboy romance series. I love other books in the series more, so this one was more of a maybe. I enjoyed it, but I love other books in the series more. Then we have Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. This one I would say yes to. This one I actually really enjoyed. This is my favorite that I've read from this author. She hasn't really worked for me in the past, but this one I really loved. So this is a second chance between a divorced couple. They are going on a road trip together to take their son to college. And what I loved about this one is usually with second chance you'll get a lot of like flashbacks and things like that. This was not the case for this one, and I felt like it was super unique and different to kind of see their relationship build from what they've been through but where they're at now and wanting to move forward. So we don't get that like flashback like you usually get in second chance. So I actually really liked that and think it worked really well for their story. So yes for me. Spotlight by Rebecca Jinchak, the fourth final book in her Holland Brothers series. This is a yes for me. A sports romance. He's a baseball player. She's a single mom. She works at a bookstore that her family owns, and it's just super flirty and bantery and found family, and I love it to pieces. Revive Me by Nikki Castle, another yes for me, one of my favorites of the month. Love this one so much, and here it is a sports hero, so he's an MMA fighter, and she is his physical therapist, so it is forbidden, slow burn, definitely more hurt, comfort, emotional. There is some content warning as well, so check that. I love this one to pieces. Basically, the hero gets injured, and he has an incomplete spinal injury, and the heroine is his physical therapist, and so that's the forbidden element. So good though. The caretaking, amazing. Finding Home by Jen McMahon. So this is my first read from this author. I liked it, so I would say a yes or a maybe, depending on what you want to read. So if you're in the mood for like a small town, kind of opposite attract setting, this one is that, where the heroine is a politician's wife, and even her father was like a politician, so that's just like her whole lifestyle. She finds out her husband's cheated on her, so she moves to this small town in Wyoming, kind of on a whim. She ends up buying this like small home there, or tiny home there, and she's there, and her new neighbor is the hero, so he's more grumpy and stoic. So it was super cute and fun. I'd read more from the author. So like a maybe yes for me, I guess. Silverleaf by Danny Francis is a yes for me. I love this one to pieces. I know this book and the next book I'm going to talk about, I read them back to back the day that they released, and I had thoughts. So I loved Silverleaf. This is a dystopian romance. So much fun, so good, so bingeable. I was obsessed. Loved the characters so much in this like world that we were introduced to. So that's a yes. The next one is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This one would be more of a maybe from me. I didn't love it personally, but I know so many people who apparently love it. I will say if you like Fourth Wing, I've seen a lot of people who love that, love this. And I didn't love Fourth Wing, so maybe that will help you decide if you want to read it too. It's a new romantasy, and it does have monsters, which was my favorite part of the book, was the monsters. And it's an interesting setup where basically the heroine is in this like arranged marriage situation, and she's taken away to this other kingdom in the world. And so she's on this trip, and she kind of like is learning or figuring out things about the world with you as the reader, like her kind of discovering things. Fantasies where the heroines are maybe kind of like more lost, naive, and learn with you. This book is that. For me, I needed more, and it felt just very, like, it was fine. Like, I wasn't obsessed. I wasn't in love with it. And I think that the world could definitely be opened and explored more, because you kind of go on a little bit of a road trip and then you just stop and you're there the entirety of the book. So the monster is super cool. The rest I feel like was just very easy to figure out, and like I wasn't obsessed, so maybe. Yumi and Forever by Laura Pavlov. This one I had an arc of it, so I don't think it'll be out by the time this video goes up, but it is coming out at the end of May. And this one would probably be a maybe from me personally. I didn't like super love it, but I do love Laura Pavlov in general, because it's probably more of like a 3.5 read for me, if that makes sense. So like it was good and fun, but it's not like my all-time favorite of her, which I've read majority of her books, and so it was okay. It's basically small town Alaska. So the heroine owns a wedding business, and the hero is a billionaire, multimillionaire new in town who purchases one of the venues, like the local inn that she uses for a lot of her weddings. He purchases that and is going to tear it down and build a new, like, fancy hotel. So she's very much opposed to him, and it goes from there where they had like a one-night stand before realizing who one another is. And it goes from there. It's just very easy. And even though it's small town Alaska, I felt like it could be small town anywhere, really. Like, there was nothing super holding it to Alaska, if that makes sense. So, like, it was fine. I've just read so many others from lore that I love more. So, maybe, yes. Tourist Trap by Morgan Elizabeth. This is a maybe from me. I feel like if you want, like, a summer rom-com, which isn't really my favorite, that's what this is, where he is her ex's brother, and the heroine is doing this, like, summer bucket list type of situation. She becomes a lifeguard. It's, like, Jersey Shore setting, and they have to live together because she ends up becoming a roommate for him, or like renting out a room at his house. So there's forced proximity. It was okay. Then there is Be With Me by Gabrielle Sands. I loved this one. It was super fun. This is a yes for me. If you want just like an easy mafia romance to get into, this one was a lot of fun. Basically in here, the heroine and the hero are from rival families. And so in here, her dad's running for mayor, and his whole like campaign is to take down the mafia families of New York. And that's who the hero is from. Like, he's from one of the mafia families. And so it's very much like opposites attract vibe. And he's just like absolutely obsessed with her. So if you love a hero obsessed, the hero in here is absolutely obsessed with the heroine. And it goes from there, and I had fun with this one, so yes. Then we have His Juliet by Emily Rossi. This is the second book in her Empire of Royals series, another mafia romance. This one would be a maybe yes for me as well. Another one where the hero is obsessed and just wants to take care of the heroine. I loved book one more, which was His Tesoro. So that was last year. I loved that one. And this one was like, it was fine. It was good. It was easy to get into, but it just didn't live up to the same level that the first one did. And here the heroine does have agoraphobia, so we get to see that kind of represented in the book. And the hero is just absolutely obsessed, smitten, in love, wants to do everything for her from the moment he meets her, and it's just very easy, so it goes from there. And the next are a couple arcs. So they're coming out in either June or one of them comes out in August. So Eliza and the Duke by Harper St. George. This is a new historical romance from her, a part of her Doves of New York series. It's book 2. This one would be a maybe, but possibly a no from me. Probably my least favorite of books I've read from this author. It was just fine. Like, basically in here, the heroine and her sisters are all kind of having to find suitable men to marry, and so they go to London. They're American heiresses. They go to London to find husbands, and instead she's engaged to somebody, but she's not really into him, and he's like definitely not into her, and instead she ends up meeting the hero, who is a prize fighter, and so becomes their romance, and it was just fine. Then the next one is Red Card by Maren Moore. It was on NetGalley, so I grabbed it. It's not out till August though, so this one is probably a maybe from me. I feel like if you want like a sports romance that's just very easy to get into, where he's a rugby player and he was told he can't play anymore in London, and so a college team ends up scooping him up in the US, and so the heroine is the coach's daughter. And like their relationship was just very easy peasy, and not any like angst around the fact that she's the coach's daughter. Like, that didn't really play into it as well, which I kind of wanted it to. And I wanted more sports time, which we didn't get. So it was cutesy. It was fine. It was super easy to read, but I wanted a little bit more. Not my favorite from Maren Moore, but it's out in August and it was fun. Then the last one is Bourbon Improve by Victoria Wilder. This one's out at the beginning of June. I love this one. It's the third book in her Bourbon Boys series, the last one in the series, sadly. This one is romantic suspense set around a bourbon business that the hero and his brothers own, and so he's the older brother, and this couple's been teased since the beginning, and so she's super into him. There's also mutual pining. It's a marriage of convenience, and it's just so good. I love this one so much. I won't say too much because it's not out yet, but I loved it to pieces. So good. So that one's a yes from me as well. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that video today of me chatting about just all of the 2025 new releases for romances that I have read so far. Like I said, I love keeping up with new releases, so maybe this will help you. If you don't have a ton of time to maybe read all those books I mentioned, you can maybe pick and choose from things that I said I liked about them or didn't like or whatever. Like, hopefully this helps. So definitely let me know if this helps, if you like this style of a very quick video. So let me know. And like I said, I did link all the books below. So if you missed any of the books that I talked about, because I talked about them rather quickly, so all the titles, authors are linked below, as well as my Goodreads if you want to see like my full reviews on any of these as well. It's linked down there too. And if you would like to leave me an emoji in the comments today to let me know that you watched this video, leave me a disco ball, because my shirt has all of these disco balls on it, so do that. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!